Hello, we're going to take note 7. These should be pretty short, hopefully. So on your notes, please make sure it says note 7. And today we're going to work on something called literal equations. Literal equations are when you have a formula and you're going to rearrange the equation to solve for different variables. So there's two important things to think about. The first is we start with a formula with tons of variables. Normally, we've been solving equations like this. With just one x throughout the equation. Now we're going to have formulas with lots more equations. Like we could solve a literal equation for the area of a circle, where the area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. Notice they're just symbols and number letters here, only the exponent too. And so these are the type of equations we've been working on. This is a literal equation. It's a formula that we start with, and we're going to change it around. And some students feel overwhelmed when they're asked to solve, but all we're doing is we are rearranging. That's the key. We're rearranging the equation to solve for the given variable. And what I mean by given variable is if I have this problem, it would say solve for r. And our job then is going to be to change the equation to say r equals something. And so we're just going to take the parts that are with r and we're going to move them to the other side. So we're just rearranging the equation. That's what it means to solve a literal equation. So we're going to do two examples. Feel free to press pause if you need additional time to write that down. So this is the interest formula, simple interest. I just put some background information in case you ever see this formula. Interest equals the principal times the rate times the time. Interest has to do with money. If you take out a loan, you borrow money from the bank, you're going to have to pay additional money to the bank because you're using their service. That's what interest is. And so the question says solve for t. And so what we're asked to do is to get the t by itself. We need to rearrange the equation so it says t is equal to something. So again, draw a line through your equal sign, and my goal is to get the t by itself. So we have to think, what are the things with the t? The things that are with the t are a p and an r, and it's being multiplied. We're going to do the same as we always done when we're going to do the inverse operations. The opposite of multiply is divide. And so I'm going to divide this whole side by PR. When I divide by PR, the P's cancel and the R's cancel. If I divide that side by PR, I have to divide the other side by PR. So I have interest divided by the principal times the rate is equal to the time. And that's all I have to do. I rearrange the formula so that the t is alone. I don't have a number for t because I don't know what the interest and the principal and the rate are, so I can't find like x equals 7. We just leave it in that form. So we just rearranged it. We moved things around. One other example is this. This isn't a general formula, it's just an equation with several variables, and I want to solve for n. That means we're going to rearrange it to isolate, get the n by itself. So keep your eyes on where that n is, and we have to get rid of it. The things that are with the n are this 4x and the 2. And if you remember from solving multi-step equations, we always get rid of the constant-like thing first, and then the coefficient. So we're going to get rid of this 4x first. We're going to take away 4x. We always add or subtract. I should make it the word or, not the slash, so you don't think it's divide. Add or subtract first because we're doing the opposite of PEMDAS. And we're going to take away 4x. 4x minus 4x is nothing. Can we do 3y minus 4x? Nope. Those are not like terms. So I'm just going to write it out. Instead of stacking, we're going to write it horizontally. Now I need to get rid of the coefficient. We do that by either multiplying or dividing. This is a times 2. The opposite of times 2 is divide by 2. And so we divide the whole problem by 2. And my answer, we just write it in this weird